Welcome to the session. The session topic is Android architecture, overview of object oriented programming using Java, and OOPS concept inheritance. In the previous session, we have learnt about introduction to Android operating systems and Android development tools. The learning objectives of this session is to understand the architecture of Android and to learn the main components of the Android architecture and to know the overview of object oriented programming using Java as well as to understand the OOPS concept inheritance. The session outcomes are we'll know what the Android architecture is and the components of your Android architecture, the overview of object oriented programming using Java, and you'll know the OOPS concept, that is inheritance. See, first we'll see what an Android architecture is. Android architecture is a software stack of components to support mobile device needs. Android software stack consists of a Linux kernel, collection of C or C++ libraries which are exposed through an application framework services, runtime and application. See, the main components of Android architecture are applications, we have Android framework, Android runtime, platform libraries, and Linux kernel. See, in all these components, the main component is Linux kernel. So, this Linux kernel is used to provide its operating system functions to mobile and Dalvik virtual machine, which is responsible for running a mobile application. See, the picture that you can see is your Android architecture. You can see there are five main components which has applications, application framework, Android runtime, platform libraries and Linux kernel. See, in the applications, so we have applications like the home, contacts, camera, SMS, alarm, time, calendar, music, gallery, phone, clock and email. So these are the third party applications or the applications that we build. All these applications will be present in application layer. Next we have application framework. So in this we have activity manager, package manager, NFC service, location service, Windows manager, notification manager, content providers and view system. In the Android runtime, we have Dalvik Virtual Machine, that is DVM, then Zygote, Android Debug Bridge, and core libraries. In platform libraries, we have Media Framework, OpenGL, Graphics, SGL, SSL, SQLite, Surface Manager, FreeType. See, in Linux kernel, we have all the drivers like your display driver, Wi-Fi driver, audio driver, Bluetooth driver, camera driver, USB driver, binder, IPC driver and memory driver. So we'll see each and every component one by one. The first component, that is applications. See, the top layer of the Android architecture is applications. The native and third party applications like the contacts, email, music, gallery, clock, games. So whatever we will build, so those will be installed in this application layer. See, the application layer, it runs within the Android runtime using the classes and services that is made available from the application framework. See, the next component, the application framework. Application framework it provides the classes that is used to create Android applications. See, this framework, it provides a generic abstraction for hardware access, and it manages the user interface and application resources. See, this basically provides the services through which we can create a particular class and make that class helpful for the application creation. So, the application framework, this includes services like the telephony service, location services, notification manager, NFC service, view system, and other things. So these we are going to use for the application development as per our requirements. See, in the application framework, it includes some of the key services. So we have activity manager. So this activity manager is mainly used to control all the aspects of your application life cycle and the activity stack. So the next kind of a key service is the content providers. So this content providers will allow the applications to publish and to share the data with the other applications. So we have another key service, that is the resource manager. So the resource managers, they provide the access to non-code embedded resources like your strings, color settings, and the user interface layouts. So we have notification manager. So this will mainly allow your applications, that is to display your alerts or the notifications to the users. So you can see to that you have many apps. So in that apps you will get your notification alerts. So this notification alerts is being, that is controlled by your notification manager. So next kind of a key service that we have is view system. So it's an extensible set of views that is used to create application user interfaces. So the next component we have is Android runtime. Android runtime environment. So it is an important part of the Android rather than an internal part, or it contains the components like the core libraries and Dalvik virtual machine. So Android runtime, so it has the components, that is your core libraries and Dalvik virtual machine. The Android runtime, it's the engine that powers our applications along with the libraries, and it forms the basis for your application framework. See, the Dalvik virtual machine, that is nothing but DVM. So it is a register based virtual machine. So how we have a Java virtual machine, the same way we have, that is Dalvik virtual machine. It is a register based virtual machine, and it is specifically designed and optimized for the Android. So to ensure that your device can run multiple instances efficiently. So this will rely on the Linux kernel for threading and low level memory management. See the core libraries in your Android runtime. So this will enable us to implement the Android applications using the standard Java programming language. See, next we have the platform libraries. Platform libraries, they include various C or the C++ core libraries, and Java based libraries are also there in the platform libraries. So Java based libraries like we have SSL, libc, graphics, SQLite, WebKit, Media, Surface Manager, OpenGL. So these are few of your Java based libraries. So they are used to support for your Android development. So this provides a support for your Android development. See, Media library. See, we have media library for playing and recording audio and video formats. See, some of the core Android libraries which are available for the Android development are, we have the media library. The media library is mainly for playing and recording audio as well as the video formats. We have Surface Manager library that is used to provide a display management, and SGL and the OpenGL graphics library, it is mainly for your 2D as well as 3D graphics. Then SQLite, it is for your database support. For the database support we use SQLite, and for the font support we use FreeType. WebKit is used for your web browser support, and SSL, it is used for the internet security. So these are some of the libraries that are available for your Android development. See, next we have the Linux kernel. So Linux kernel, it is the bottom layer and it is also the heart of your Android architecture. So this Linux kernel, it manages all the drivers like your display drivers, camera drivers, Bluetooth drivers, audio drivers, memory drivers, etc. So all these drivers will be managed by your Linux kernel. So they're mainly required for the Android device, that is during your runtime. So the Linux kernel will provide an abstraction layer that is between your device hardware and the remainder of the stack. So it is responsible for the memory management, power management, device management, resource access, etc. See, those were the 5 components of the Android architecture. Next, we'll see the overview of the object-oriented programming using Java. Object-oriented programming, or OOPS. So this actually refers to languages that use the objects in programming. So while we are programming, we use objects. So those kind of languages is being referred to as the object oriented programming, or you can call it as OOPS. Object oriented programming, it aims to implement your real world entities like your inheritance, the hiding, then polymorphism. So all these object oriented concepts, to implement all these things, so we are going to use your object oriented programming. See, the main aim of the object oriented programming is that we bind together the data and the functions. So, and that will operate on them so that no other part of the code they can have access to this data except that particular function. So we bind the data and the functions, and the data will be accessed by only that particular function, and no other function can access that data. So an object based application in Java, it is based on declaring your classes, and we create the objects for them, and these objects will interact. So there will be an interaction between these objects. See, next we'll see the OOPS concept, that is inheritance. See, in object oriented programming, see, the computer programs, they are designed in such a way that where everything is an object, and this object will interact with the another object. So one object, it interacts with the another object. So here inheritance is one of the such concept where the properties of one class can be inherited by the other. So inheritance in the sense, see, the properties of one class we are going to inherit by the another class. So the main use of inheritance is that it helps to reuse the code. So there is reusability, and this will establish a relationship between different classes. So we are going to establish a relationship between different classes, and the main advantage of using the inheritance is that the reuse of the code, that is reusability. See, as we all know that, see, a child, it inherits the properties from his father. Okay, so similarly, what happens in Java? So one class will inherit the properties from another class. So by this, what we can say is that there are two types of the classes. So one is your parent class and the other one is the child class. See, parent class, it is also called the super class, or we can call it as the base class, and the child class is called the subclass, or we can call it as the derived class. See, a class which inherits the properties, that is known as the child class, and a class whose properties has been inherited, that class is called as your parent class. See, in inheritance, so it can be further classified into four types. So we have single inheritance, multiple inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, and hybrid inheritance. See, single inheritance means here one class, it inherits the properties of the another. So you just have one superclass and one subclass. So one class will inherit the properties of another. So that is your single inheritance. See, if we take the second kind of inheritance, that is multi-level inheritance. See, when a class is being derived from a class, then again that class is also derived from another class. So here a class having more than one parent class, but it is at the different levels. So this kind of your inheritance is called multi-level inheritance. That is, first class is being derived from one class, and from that derived class you are going to derive another class. So this, there is a class is having more than one parent class, that is at a different levels. So this type of your inheritance, we call it as the multi-level inheritance. The third type of inheritance is the hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance in the sense, when a class has more than one child classes. So if you take a one parent class, so that parent class has more than one child class, that is, there you have more than one subclasses. So here one child class, so more than one child classes, they have the same parent class. So this kind of inheritance, we call it as hierarchical inheritance. The next kind of inheritance is the hybrid inheritance. See, hybrid inheritance, it's the combination of other inheritance. For example, your hybrid inheritance, it is the combination of your multi-level inheritance and some other like multiple inheritance. So that is called your hybrid inheritance. See, in this session, we have learned about the Android architecture, the main components of the Android architecture. We have seen the overview of the object-oriented programming using Java. Then we have seen the OOPS concept, that is inheritance, and the types of inheritance. So next we'll see the MCQ. See, the first question is, Android is based on Linux for the following reason. We have the options given: security, portability, networking, then all of this. The correct answer for this is D, that is all of this. See, the Android, it is based on Linux for all these reasons: for the security, for portability, as well as networking. So next question we have, which among the following are part of application layer of Android architecture? So which is the part of the application layer of Android architecture? The options given are contacts, browser, phone, all of these. So the correct answer for this is all of these. So all these are the applications. So all the applications will be present in the application layer of the Android architecture. So third question we have, what is the name of the program that converts Java bytecode into Dalvik bytecode? So the name of the program, so which converts the Java bytecode into Dalvik bytecode. So the options given are Android Interpretive Compiler, Dalvik Converter, DEX Compiler, and Mobile Interpretive Compiler. So the correct answer for this is DEX Compiler. So DEX Compiler is the one that is used to convert Java bytecode into Dalvik bytecode. See, the next question is inheritance it allow in the program. So what does the inheritance allow in the program? We have options: class reusability, creating a hierarchy of classes, extendability. The option D is all of the above. See, the correct answer is all of the above. So inheritance, it provides the reusability. So it will create a hierarchy of the classes, and it also provides the extensibility. See, the next question we have is, which among these are not a part of Android's native libraries? So we have the options. Option A, WebKit. Option B, Dalvik. Option C, OpenGL. Then option D, SQLite. So which is not a part of your Android's native libraries? So the correct answer for this is B, that is Dalvik. See, these are the references that is used. Thank you.